All right, what's up, party people? My name is Sunny Ray. This is the Sunny Ray Show. Today I've got a guest. His name is Saif Ahmed. He's somebody who I met in Bangalore many years ago, back in 2017. I think we first crossed paths, and then later on, about 3-4 years later, we connected. He's an entrepreneur. He's a 3-time founder who's fundamentally rewiring the unglamorous engine room of American small business. So we're going to be talking about the back office and how AI is playing a big role there. Hey, Saif, how's it going?
Hey Sunny, good to see you after a long time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I guess, yeah, just maybe take us right into the deep end. Like, what is Dax Hive building? I know we reconnected after a long time, but quite interested to learn more about what you're building over there.
Yeah, so I call it like a AI back office for US businesses. And with Dax Hive, I'm building a matrix system. It's a fancy word I came up with. For me, the abbreviation is mesh of agent teams and responsive intelligence Xenoloth is what I'm calling it. So basically, the idea is the AI agents would run all the core departments in your business, whether it's marketing, accounting, operations, HR. The AI agents would be running it, and it's a matrix system with a human in the loop, and I call that human Neo. So it stands for like next gen entity orchestrator.
And I'm sure it has nothing to do with the Keanu Reeves, my favorite
No,
movie.
no. Yeah, it's my favorite. I don't think it has nothing to do with it, except I took inspirations from that.
Yeah, of course, of course. No, cool. I like it. So it's kind of funny though. I mean, not funny, but ironic, I guess is the right word, that in many ways Bangalore is the back office for American business or, banks and so you're sitting in Bangalore now and kind of disrupting it, but in a different way, right? In a unique way using AI. Because I think I tweeted the other day, I was like, AI is the new Bangalore or something, or
Mhm.
because like a lot of the work that I think people used to depend on India for, like coding and things like that, are actually now doable on your desktop type of thing, right? So, but you're taking that same technology and leaping forward into the future. So how did you get this insight? Like, where did this idea come about? Like, really curious to learn more about your journey.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I think what's going to happen is it's no longer going to be Bangalore is also known as like Silicon Valley of India, at least for quite some time, like comparable to uh, Silicon Valley in US. But with the AI, I think most of the back office things would be decentralized. So it's no longer in the future. I don't think it's going to be tied to like one city or state. Everything is going to live in cloud. So basically, I got this idea, back in, I've been working on this idea since like 2021. So that's when during COVID hit, um, a lot of business owners were looking to cut down the cost, and they were making COVID-19 as a reason. And that's when I realized, um, businesses are always looking to cut down the cost and be efficient, right? So they are looking for one person to do everything, So there is a saying like, jack of all trades, master of none. But I think now it's like reversing. Business owners are expecting everybody to be a jack of all trade, where AI is going to be the master of it. So I kind of got that idea, and then ChatGPT came in, and I do a lot of research, and I kind of did a YouTube video in 2020, kind of predicting that future is going to be AI agents which would run the businesses, not humans.
Interesting. Okay. So I guess let's go back a little bit. We actually spoke about what, 5 years ago, right? You were reminding me. when you were an employee about to go out on your own, you're kind of thinking about it. So take us back to that version of you professionally. Like what were you doing and what was the plan before you started your own business?
Yeah, I was doing a lot of stuff. I have a computer science background, and back then, most of my career, I worked for real estate companies. I worked for a firm called Anthem Grouping, which was more into real estate sales and investment. And you know, when I quit from Anthem, so I was searching for a job, and there was like, again, like I said, I was thinking whether to do my own business or take a job, because what I saw is um, during COVID, there was not a lot of jobs available, right? So I think, to be honest, like I was forced to be an entrepreneur. And I don't want to make things up. I got into entrepreneurship by accident.
I mean, it's funny you say it that way because I had this sense that a lot of people are going to be forced into entrepreneurship because of AI, right? Like I almost, this is just more like an intuition, but I almost feel like if you're an employee, the AI, I could see how it could be threatening. But if you're an entrepreneur, it's actually very empowering because, you can create now at the speed of thought, you can connect with other people, you can build, you can. So, do you see AI as like as a polarizing kind of technology that will kind of push more and more people towards entrepreneurship, or do you think entrepreneurship is just like maybe for select few type of thing?
See, here's what I've learned from my experience, because during 2021, there was no LLMs or AI like we do right now, right? So, what I was doing is, I saw a pattern that people would pay if you solve a problem. And I was looking at different sites and gig work and part-time job, full-time job. And, so I saw a lot of people are hiring to solve some problem, right? So people want a website to be built, marketing to be solved, books to be done. And then the way I approached is, uh, even though I have been a system admin and operations guy, I didn't leave that opportunity. I thought, okay, you just want a website to be built. Okay, let me build it. Oh, you pay me $300 for that. Good, because I was in need, right? So then as I, before, this is like before AI, right? So then what I learned is, okay, this is what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship for me is somebody who can see the problem, identify a market fit, and solve that, right? And then I thought, okay, fine, let's get into that journey. So I think I'm good at identifying problems and solving it, and that's what entrepreneurship is for me.
Yeah, no, I really like how you distill it down to something very simple, right? Which is it's about solving problems, right? Ultimately, it's nothing like beyond that, right? And kind of the bigger
Yeah,
problems you solve, the more you get rewarded, right? Type of thing. Like,
correct.
yeah, like,
Correct. This is before AI. And just to answer the second part of your question, I don't see AI as threatening. But if
yeah,
I had AI back in 2021 or 2022, I would
right,
have earned more, because it empowers me to do
right,
more. Because back at that
exactly.
time, I was looking at what people want, what people are posting jobs, and I was learning that skills. But now I don't have to do it. I just build an AI agent, build a workflow, solve that
So,
problem easily.
what? Like, I guess in an age of like kind of information, and now I guess you could say knowledge, abundance, right? Like, how do you figure out what to focus on? Because you can create art, you can make code now, you can do business development, you can do sales, you could, like you said, you can do so much more. So can the people, right, that are hiring you, because they're also like a keyboard stroke away from doing it. But how do you find your place in that world? Do you know what I'm asking? Like, there's just so much optionality. Like, where do you sink your teeth into? And do you specialize? Do you generalize? Like, how do you find a solution, in terms of building a business there with AI?
See, I think first of all, the problem right now is not which tools to use, but we just have so many tools available. It's just like, uh, there's so many options, and people are confused on which to pick. And in terms of, I think I'm gonna generalize, like I said. So with Dax Hive, um, my vision is to build a matrix system, because I don't think specialized job role. Uh, I don't think the future. So here's what my research says. Okay, so first of all, a scaling business today, or maybe like 3 years, 5 years from now, it doesn't look like a company with 500 employees. Okay, so it's gonna look like a company with 500 different agents, doing maybe like 495 different agents doing all the tasks from marketing and everything, and just 5 specialists in that 5 key business areas, right? So I call them Neo, and that's the vision I'm moving into. Because most of the, see, we cannot compete with I don't think a biological mind can compete with a mechanical mind. Okay, I can justify that, we are going to be smart, and, there's going to be jobs and all that stuff. But with the LLMs, agentic AI, and, the way it reasons, I think more and more businesses are going to adapt AI. And, I just don't want to compete with the mechanical mind. I just want to join it. So I think I'm building more like, you don't have to, my philosophy is, you don't have to know marketing. You just need to know how to control an AI agent which is trained on marketing, if that makes sense.
But then what do you need to know? Because you can fill in the blank with anything, right? You don't need to know engineering. You just need an agent that can do engineering, right? Like, you don't need, I mean, sales, I'd imagine maybe is like a little bit of space there for humans, right? I can still see like
Yes.
me talking to like a AI version of you, and maybe not, I don't know, pulling the trigger, whereas maybe you would just have certain nuance and facial expressions and body language and tone and things that I would just pick up on that would maybe get me across the finish line. I mean, that and sales is obviously all pervasive, but even marketing, right? Like, is marketing done now? Like, is it just for the machines? Like, marketing is art, right? It's like a way of expressing ourselves and, getting the word out about your product or your service. I mean, there must be, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, like, just because, computers figured out how to play chess doesn't mean that humans stop playing chess, right? Like, we're still playing probably more than ever now. So
Yeah, but who's watching chess?
chess is massive, no?
Yeah, but I think compared
But you don't
to
watch AI versus
football
human.
and
Oh, okay,
cricket,
obviously, yeah. Or
right?
robots,
So how many people watch chess?
So, Saif, your early career was deep in the tech world, right? So, like, transaction coordination, sysadmin, operations for U.S. real estate holding companies. Well, what did that kind of unglamorous work teach you that founders who start at the kind of the strategy layer never learn?
See, I think so. What I meant is, I think I mentioned a little bit before. I think as a founder, you need to focus on solving a real problem, and be good at marketing. And when I say marketing, it's a lot of things like connecting with people and understanding what the market wants. You cannot fight, you cannot create an artificial demand, right? So if there is no problem in the market and you're building some product and trying to market and sell it, I don't think it would work. So when I said strategy versus you know, if you focus a lot on strategy, you'd never learn. So my what I meant is you look at the problems and try to solve it instead of strategizing for some problem which never exists.
So you call yourself a multi-potentialite, right? So someone who weaves finance, tech, and operations together. When did you realize that like pattern weaving was actually your skill and not, just any one discipline?
Okay, that's a good question. So when I've considered myself as a pattern weaver and multi-potentialite, it was not something which was appreciated back in 2021 and 2022. You know, um, like people used to call, like again, like I said, so jack of all trade, which is not something to be uh, proud about in the entrepreneur journey. But I had a lot of interest. Like I got into Bitcoin, where I was doing system admin, and transaction coordinator is more like a documentation work in real estate. It's not into tech. But during when I started in 2020, 2014 and all, that's the time where real estate was adapting technology and digital signature and all that stuff. Um, so I guess I've realized in 2020, 2021, um, because a lot of people who call themselves like expert in one industry, like, oh, hey, I'm a coder and I'm like, bookkeeper and all. So they were all unemployed during that time because I was learning a lot of skill set. I had a lot of interest, and I usually connect, uh, expertise from one industry and apply it to another one. Like, I've learned something from the tech and automation, and then I apply that into finance and bookkeeping, uh, you know to complete some work which takes 4 hours in like 1 hour, right? And because I was learning all the skill set across different industry, I stayed employed during COVID. And that's when I became an entrepreneur, because I was solving real problems instead of uh, being proud about titles and yeah, job titles.
So you claim up to 60% cost reduction for DAX clients through automation first operations, right? So can you walk us through what automation first, actually meant in a bookkeeping business before, the current AI wave?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's usually when I go into when I look into the business, I look into their day-to-day task, right? So there's three things which I focus on, which is people, process, and technology. I look at the processes, and I look at how the employees and people are using it, like SOPs and all that stuff. And then I look at what technology they're applying. So then I list out all the tasks they have and measure how long they take to complete each of those tasks, right? And then I apply, like, okay, so can we do it better, like efficient, faster, or instead of taking 1 hour, can it be done in 10-15 minutes using technology, right? So for example, like using rules to categorize transactions, instead of being on a discovery call and asking 10 questions, just send them a form, uh, so that you're prepared before the meeting. So those are the things I used to do that before the AI era. And after AI, I think it became like 20x more capable to automate a lot of things. So the person, whatever team, let's say in finance, a 5% team used to take can be done with just one person.
Crazy. I love it. Yeah. So, Saif, you also run the Bangalore Entrepreneur Network, right? That's something like
Mhm.
almost 8,000 founders, 46 events. What does the Bangalore founder scene look like from the inside right now?
I don't think it looks good, to be honest. The whole reason I started Dax Hive is because I work with a lot of businesses, founders, and um, uh, everyone, and learning from what the industry is moving towards. When I say it doesn't look that good, I mean the founders and people, they call themselves entrepreneurs, but most of them are married to a business or an industry. So they're actually looking to build a business and employ themselves in it. But I think in general, what I see is the life cycle of a business is reduced. It used to be like 5 6 years, and but now I'm seeing a lot of businesses within a year they build on some outdated product using AI or something, because the entry barrier is so low with the AI. Everybody thinks that they're an expert. They come in and they build a company, and within a year, it's already outdated. Because I know that in 2024 and 2025, there were at least couple of dozen people who are building on top of chat GPT, custom GPT, and all that stuff. And they're absolute right now. But on the brighter side, I think there is a lot of innovation happening, but the future is not going to look like a company with 50 employees. It's mostly like solo founders um, who are building tech-based products.
I was gonna ask you, you were in Bangalore through the years, like when India's kind of Bitcoin industry was fighting for its life. What did watching that fight teach you about building in uncertain, like regulatory ground?
Okay, that's a good question. I think every time there is some new technology um, or regulation, people just don't get it, right? Because there was a lot of people who said like blockchain and everything is the future. And people who got into the game early made the most money with any new technology. Yes, there is a high risk but high reward. Um, and that's how I'm seeing with AI as well. Because I had at least told 50 of my friends, like I told you so, to buy Bitcoin. Okay. And in fact, my firms were funded because I invested in Bitcoin back in 2014. And that helped me to, when, the rainy season came, something like COVID, because I had Bitcoin and I was able to save it, I was able to liquidate it and invest and do what I like. A lot of people didn't have it, and most of them, just regretted it. Because there was a lot of gray area, but I believed, uh, in the blockchain and Bitcoin. And that's how I think with AI as well. Eventually, would, everybody would come into this. Now there is a lot of complaint with AI, like, hey, it's not working, or people who implemented AI in their business are, backing out and all that stuff. But eventually, everyone would get into that. But by that time, they would have already lost to their competitors. People who adapted early would be would have the advantage. Just like internet companies, I just see a pattern with the internet, with the blockchain, and now I'm
Like,
seeing the same pattern with
like
AI.
how did you and I meet again?
So Unicoin meetups.
Unocoin meetup.
Yeah, Unicoin meetups. So I was, I'm still like an orthodox believer of blockchain and Bitcoin. Um, and that's how I met. So I was looking at, so I don't know if you remember, like during that time, you cannot even talk about Bitcoin in India. People would raise eyebrows when you're talking about Bitcoin, like, it's some kind of like gray shady area. And I was like, what the heck? I mean, this is technology, and I have to at least explain for 5 minutes to people on what Bitcoin is and how blockchain works, how mining works, and etc. And then when I found there was a group you guys were running every week with like-minded people, and I joined it, and that's how I met you.
Yeah, I remember those. That's specifically the words I would use every time. Like-minded people.
Yeah.
Like attracts like. Do you see similarities, Saif, between Bitcoin and AI? Because I kind of initially thought, oh wow, AI is so delightful and easy to use that people are going to be all over it. But I found that it's just like Bitcoin, mostly fear, FUD, maybe just a little bit of, oh, I tried it once or twice, I'm not interested, oh, it's going to kill us, or it's going to take all our jobs. Like people have these like strong kind of emotional negative position against AI. Do you find that? I mean, it sounds like it's similar to your experience, no?
Hell yes, 100%. So if you see, I mean, this, if you don't learn from history, I mean, you are like dumb f, because nobody's going to save you, because you just learn from the history. You look at the internet, you look at the industrial revolution, you look at how IT came in, apps, right? So internet came first, then apps powered it, then there's blockchain, and then AI. Eventually everybody would get into that, but it's like people, I still remember, like every time a new disruptive technology comes and people fight, technology always wins, right? Because when Uber was coming, there was a lot of transportation companies and all that stuff were fighting, and look who won, who's the losers, right? The people who adapted technology came. Same thing with the industrial revolution, blockchain, right? A lot of people could have started exchanges. They did, but people, not a lot of them. The early movers always have advantage, and that's how I see AI as well. It's a new technology. If you can't beat them, join them. So I cannot beat AI. I just want to be the person who joins that, you know, revolution instead of fighting it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see AI as like this alien being, right? Like I feel like a lot of people are like, even in that terminology around like fight or against, I see it more as like a tool, a technology that helps me become my best self. Just maybe the most like amazing tool ever. Uh, but it's more just like an enabling tool, no? Like it's just like I said,
For
and
now,
for now, yeah. Well,
yeah.
okay.
So
Well,
let me
then
tell you what
you
so I
think,
agree
yeah.
with you like 50%. The other 50% is unknown. See, here's how I see, right? So because I see the mechanical muscles came in first, which replaced the human labor, the biological muscle. So that's industrial revolution, right? And then with the software and internet, it enabled us to be useful with our mechanical minds, right? So our ability to think. And so now, so I call AI as like mechanical minds because it still lives in servers and in physical location, which helps us to do a lot of things. This is where I agree with you. But again, you combine the mechanical mind and mechanical muscles at some point when the AI is really good, so people are going to put it into a physical robots, which is going to have. So we have not seen it. So um, I don't know what holds, but I'm kind of like a 50-50. But what I'm doing is, as an entrepreneur, I just wanted to be prepared for the best case and worst case scenario. But I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I strongly believe that AI is always going to help us do a lot of stuff, but it's not the AI which is bad, it's the person who's handling the AI, right? So it's a humans where the bad actor is, right? So even with blockchain and all that stuff, so I'm a believer, but there were a group of community who were always misusing it and a threat to the blockchain's reputation, with Bitcoin's reputation. So let's call them bad actors, right? And even with AI, there are bad actors. I think as long as we keep the bad actors, we cannot 100% eliminate them or avoid them, or it's unavoidable, but as long as we keep them in control, I think 80% I have like all good things to say.
So just to, yeah, no, I appreciate that. So I was gonna say, just to switch gears a little bit, bookkeeping is often named the first like white collar professional kind of AI or profession that AI will fully eat, right? Then you're essentially betting your company on that half truth, right? So which half survives in your opinion?
I don't think bookkeeping is gonna survive, to be honest, based on what I'm seeing, because usually I'm like a contrarian, like when I don't follow the masses. So right now in the industry, if I've talked to 10 bookkeepers, 8 of them are saying that it's not gonna replace. That's what at least they believe. So what it means is the reality. Um, it's definitely gonna replace bookkeeper. And when I say it's going to replace, the bookkeeping role is going to change it to more like an advisory role, instead of somebody who's entering data and doing debits and credits and categorizing transaction. The AI is going to do all those things, and it can do it better, because one place where we as a biological mind, uh, you know, lag behind us when processing with hundreds and thousands of data points. We can't do that, right? So with AI trained on so many transactions and how to code the transaction, identify whether it's an asset, liability, income, or expense, I think it will do all the bookkeeping work, and the bookkeeper role is gonna transform into like an advisory role, like CFOs, or uh, you know, uh, yeah, mostly like advising clients on the stats.
So you stepped away from Auxily this April, right, and launched DAX5 in June. So what did you see inside a 100 client back offices that made you start over?
So I think what I saw is, things, businesses are scaling with AI. Like, I mostly work with construction and real estate companies. A lot of businesses where they used to have like 20, 30 employees have at least gone half, where they've adapted AI, while their efficiency and they still did better marketing and lead gen. That's something I've noticed. And I also noticed that businesses who rely heavily on manual work didn't do well. And another thing I noticed is a lot of businesses are looking for somebody who can do everything for them, because even if they outsource, there is issues with the quality, and they want somebody to do marketing and somebody to do the the operations with the lead, the KPIs and all. And there is agents who are working on the data entry, or day-to-day administrative work, and there are CFOs. So most of the time what I've seen is there is a disconnect between from one department to another. There's HR, there's marketing, that is executive team and all that stuff. And in general, I think any businesses, it's kind of an entropy theory. You've heard about what is entropy?
Entropy or anthropy?
Entropy.
Like
In
ENT? I know what
Yeah,
entropy means. I don't know if I know what anthropy means. Like maybe
yeah, entropy,
anthropology.
entropy. No, entropy.
How do you
With
spell
an
it?
E.
with an E,
E and
entropy. Yeah, I know what
yeah.
entropy is, but maybe define it, I guess.
Maybe let me ask you, like, what's your understanding of entropy
Oof, you're
in
gonna make me go back
business?
to engineering, chemical engineering or something. Oh, in business? I mean, I was gonna try and give you like a scientific
No, no,
explanation.
in business.
Okay, I probably should just be looking this up on my AI right now, but I'm gonna try and take a stab at using my meat brain here. So I want to say something about change in I don't know, change in
Okay.
something over time, change in chaos or something. I don't know. Or
Yeah, correct, correct.
I'm
You
kind of
got that
like,
right.
yeah,
So I think
I'm
as an
just stretching.
entrepreneur, yeah, you got that right. I think, but
Okay, there you go.
I think you know what it is, but you're just not able to explain it. That's what I understood. So
Yeah, yeah,
basically, it's kind of a chaos theory. So over a long period of time, especially in business, everything is trying to move towards chaos, right? Everything is trying to break down and uh, you know uh, yeah, I think everything is, it's not like over a long period of time everything is gonna be good, whether it's building relationship or businesses processes. Over a long period of time it's always moving towards chaos, and as an entrepreneur, so you just need to understand that and try to put together, right? So you have to work with the marketing, HR, operations, and all. Your job is to ensure that everything is together and not moving towards chaos. That's why you write processes, SOPs, everything to ensure that it doesn't move towards chaos.
yeah.
And I don't think um, a human in long term would do a better job if somebody who understands an entropy theory in business. So the AI is always the best because it, even if you train a human being to follow the SOP, they would still miss it. It's not like 100% they would always follow it. But the AI would do that. Yeah, there are chances that it would miss. So I think um, anyway, so that's what uh, entrepreneurs do, like to ensure that business is stable, which is always moving towards chaos. And I think AI agents would help in that way.
So you target verticals in like real estate, construction, finance, professional services. Why do these old economy businesses need in like an AI era back office?
I think, see, to be honest, I think a lot of these businesses are easy to automate and disrupt. Okay, so when Uber came in, a lot of transportation businesses went out of business. um, Even I remember, like, there were a lot of travel agencies. You have to go in person and book or write an email or call them. So now you just, the internet is enabling you to just um, book your tickets online, right? And nobody's questioning it. Maybe when the internet came and the online booking was, yes, people ask questions like you're asking me right now. But my answer to this is, just like internet enabled a lot of things, and we can order food like in 20 minutes it's at home right now. Similarly, I think the AI is going to enable that for professional services like your taxes, bookkeeping, and CFO services and all that stuff, like analyzing marketing and all that. So I think AI is best used in this case, like real estate construction, where you work with a lot of numbers, and this is where a lot of errors happen. And with AI, it's reduced. People who, again, like I keep saying, I see that there is an opportunity to disrupt the industry, uh, which is uh, high. Uh, I think in this real estate, construction, bookkeeping, and finance is where the problem I see as an entrepreneur, where AI can be applied, and people who adapt it, it's going to change these industries. I don't know if I've
Which,
explained it well.
Saif, in your opinion, which type of cognitive work should we never outsource?
I think our attention and ability to think, because what I've seen is, while AI is doing a lot of good things, I can't help but notice that the attention span, I think in 2024, I saw an article and research like it used to be like 25 minutes average attention span. And before COVID, it used to be 2.5 minutes. And now it's less than 47 seconds. Okay. Um, and the reason mostly, that's one thing. And then also I noticed that this is something I noticed in day-to-day thing. So people are, see, when GPS came in, like I don't know how many people remember the friends' birthdays nowadays, and unless like Facebook or calendar reminds them, because there's a lot of cognitive ability uh, which we've already outsourced to the technology. Like we don't remember anything. Like the memory is already outsourced to the smartphones, right? So our ability to navigate and reasoning, like GPS is one example. It's already outsourced, right? It's already outsourced. So now with AI, we are doing outsourcing the reasoning. That is fine, no issues. But the attention and thinking, I think that's dangerous because people are forgetting how to communicate now. Because any questions comes up, they first put it in an LLM, right? And they don't even think about it, right? So this, I think I used to call some of my friends dangerous. Like they always look for somebody for solution. This is before AI. Like you come up with a problem. The first thing is you try to solve it, not ask your friend like, "Hey, how do you solve it?" Now, then hey, you have Google and everything. Why don't you just go and search in the Google? At least do an attempt, right, to solve it. And an extension of that is what I'm seeing in LLM. People are not. Um, I think people are forgetting how to communicate and write because they are outsourcing that to AI. While in businesses it's helpful, but I don't know in long term, at least in your if you're writing an email to a client using AI, I think that's fine. I'm not somebody who hates AI. I love AI. But if you're using AI to wish a birthday message or, when your wife comes and asks, "Do you remember what day it is today?" That's a danger sign. And, I don't want to use AI to generate an anniversary message and all that stuff. And attention span as well, right? So, people are blindly trusting AI answers and just giving everything to AI. I think attention and thinking ability, critical thinking to be precise, we should still practice it, because if you just keep outsourcing that to AI, just like how we lost our memory and the navigation skills to GPS and a lot of other things, even math. I don't know, but everybody has their smartphone with them, and people struggle for basic math at grocery store. They take the calculator and do it. So that's a technology. It's not necessarily AI, but if we keep outsourcing any cognitive ability to a technology over the long period of time, you lose that because you're not practicing it anymore. And I'm not saying that it's a lot of researchers are now coming out and saying the same thing.
So if India produces extraordinary operators, and AI is essentially collapsing the distance between Indian talent and Western clients, right? So What happens to the kind of the global service industry over the next decade?
I think it's gonna be decentralized because right now, again, one of the reason I started Dax Hive is because not long ago, maybe like 5, 6 years ago, if you have to build even a simple dashboard for an enterprise, you have to spend at least $100,000 in thing, and by the time this testing, you need to hire a different team who builds on Android. For the web, there is a different team. There's a backend, there is a different team, and so for iOS there is a separate team, and so you have to have all this things, the challenges were there, and that's when the outsourced places like India and other places like Philippines and all like, came up because they were actually supporting the big enterprises. But if you look at who they were serving, most of them are serving large businesses. Um, and if you look at the percentage in the United States alone, small and medium businesses account for like over 90%. Okay, so all the back offices, by big firm, everything, they were most of the time the target is enterprise, which is just less than 10% of the business. So now with AI and everything, um, small and medium businesses have an opportunity to, they can afford to outsource now. They can hire an engineer uh, who used to cost them 100,000. Now they can just hire them for like $1,000 a month, because the engineer they're hiring, he's just a orchestrator. AI is doing all the coding, right? So I think it's going to get decentralized, but it's going to create more jobs because the 90% of the businesses which didn't have the budget or the resources um, to have a tech or team or AI or implemented. I think all the back office and everybody is going to focus on small and medium businesses. It's just going to decentralize. I don't see yeah, I think there is still hope, and it's just going to get decentralized.
Cool, man. Help me land the plane, Saif. This has been a really interesting interview. I think we had a bit of a slow start, but wow, we have almost 50 people watching live, so that's special. And then, yeah, I really like a lot of your takes. You put it very simply, but I think they're very they're very succinct and like wise, and so yeah, wonderful time to get to spend with you here. So I guess help me land with this one. So for the founder who's kind of like watching and who's drowning in their kind of own back office right now, what's the first thing they should fix this week, like with or without you?
I think first, stop chasing shiny objects and see if you're actually solving a real problem, or just imagining that you're strategizing to solve a problem which never exists, right? That's what I'd say. Because if you're spending a lot of money on ads and, um, you know, cold outreach and one-on-one and all that stuff, and if you're not getting signups, you might not be actually solving a problem. Maybe the problem never exists for your solution. So I'd say build a solution for a problem, not build a solution and expect the problem to find a problem.
Got it. Cool. With that said, Saif, let's land the plane here. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Starting to ramp up here with the interviews. We got a lot more planned for this week. But Saif, thank you so much. Just stick around for 1 minute. I'm going to bring this interview to an end here.
Sounds good. Thanks, Sunny. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for
And
being here.
I don't do a lot of podcasts, but this one I do wanted to do it with you. But anyway.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to bring this one to an end. Take care, everyone.